good night, good luck, good morning. How is everybody? It's me, Kirsten. It's the It's Giving Mystical podcast, and this is your weekly card of the week for the week ahead of October 6th. Stevie says, hey. So how was the Lover's Week for you? How was this week of choice and harmony and smoothing out the edges? Did you feel that? Did it show up for you? I hope so. I hope that your entrance into October already came with this feeling of like, all right, this is different. This is different than September. I'm with it. I'm here for it. And let's see what happens. And as you ease into this month, I just hope you're feeling all of that. I hope you're feeling, the blessings. And, maybe buy a lotto ticket. Someone's got to win. All you need is $1 and a dream. Okay, so where are we this week? This week, the tarot gives us the chariot card. And I have to say, this is a very interesting message. And normally when I pop on here, I've sat with the card and I put my hands on it and I kind of do some direct revelation and I feel into what the energy is. In this case, I didn't. The messaging was really funny, so stay with me on this one and let's just see what happens. Let's just experiment and see what this means about the time ahead. It makes me really curious, obvi. But the idea is that the chariot is number 7. It's a card of mystery. It's the way that our will propels us. It's like ego, but in a good way. It's this idea of like, I am enough, I am individual, and my desire, my will is enough. And that if I sit in my power, if I sit in my stillness, there's a mysterious transformation that happens in the world as it receives me, as it feels me, as it integrates my energy, and then becomes in reflection of that energy. That's like the most general message of the chariot, right? It's about harnessing your energy, your will, your desires into a type of deep power, a type of stillness that can't help but impact the world. It's a very confident card. There's just this confidence in the way the figure stands. They have these beautiful sphinxes or lions, depending on what deck you're looking at. And there's just this sense of real power. When I went into the card, the messaging was around focus. But more deeply, the messaging was around this word, impressive. And when I went to the space of the card, like the chariot felt enormous. The whole scene felt so big. And I had this sense of like how impressive it is. And I was like, that's a weird thing to think. Like that's not a word that normally like circulates through my mind or my energy. But I just sat with it. And it was this thing, it's kind of this question of, what is impressive? What does it mean to be impressed? What does it mean? Like, what impresses you? Is it power? Is it money? Is it beauty? Is it ease? Is it strength? Like, what impresses you? And I asked that as an active, alive question, like something to think about this week ahead. When you are in the world moving through space and you are inspired, you are turned on, you are curious about what you want and where you're headed, what's impressive to you? And not just inspiring, but literally impressive. And think about that word. You experience something and it puts an impression on you. It impresses your spirit. It impresses your field. And something about that is activating. And I can literally see it. It makes a mark on your field and then that changes things for you. It's interesting. And where it also takes me is this idea of, where are you impressive? You are impressive. You are someone who makes an impression on the world. That feels to me like the query coming up this week. What kind of impression do you make? And something around your experience of day-to-day living that's going to be like noticing both the things that impress your field. I hope you can see this the way I can. And the things that you impress into other people's fields. And so we have this word impressive, but like let's feel into the meaning of it and the vibrational quality of it. You, again, are singular. Your song is singular. Your expression, your vibrational essence, your energetic footprint, fingerprint, it's totally unique. Totally unique. And I'm just going to keep saying that for the rest of my life until people start to really feel it. Because I feel like you can feel it and you're like, okay, that's cute, Kirsten. But then you feel it again, you feel it deeper, feel it deeper, feel it deeper. You have something very unique to offer the world. And again, the chariot card is about drawing in and the strength with which we then move through the world. There's this like concentration of energy, and because it's a 7, is a little bit mysterious. Something's shifting. It goes back to what we were saying about that tower energy. Something was getting pulled away internally. Something was dissolving. More of your light is apparent and abundant and with you. You're taking a new shape. There's a new way in which you're containing your own energy. And the chariot kind of draws my attention to how strong that is, how powerful that is, which then brings my attention to how does that impact the world? So how are you impressive? If you kind of step outside of yourself, look back, look at yourself, look at your life, look at what you're creating, look at the way you're showing up, look at the way you're with yourself. If you look at yourself, what do you see? Like, what's beautiful? What's impressive? What's powerful? What's literally zinging out these notes into the world that other people are hearing, that are kind of sinking into other people's fields, and it's changing things for them. It's like a lighthouse. It's like giving them something to want, something to create around, something to orient to. So this idea of impressive, what a funny word. The other thing that comes through is this idea of focus, and you might want to think about how those two things are intertwined or tangled together. The concentration, you bring in, you draw in your energy, and then when you move out to the world, there's more impact. You might want to think about someone who you feel that about, who's someone in your life that you find impressive. And just as a playful exercise, not as like a deep analysis, but as a playful exercise, like what impresses you? What lands in your field? What feels good about them? What feels inspiring about them? What feels something you want, something that I want to reach for because I see it in them? And that just brings you to this wider perspective of how interesting life is, how beautiful it is that we meet each other, we encounter each other, and we do impress each other. We do shift things for each other. We change the field, we change the possibility, we change the story that we're telling ourselves just by being in each other's lives. There's something about the energy this week that feels like it's enough. It's enough to know that people have impressed you and that you have impressed other people and that you are this constant flowing, evolving, becoming song. I know that I say that a lot, but it's true because it's the best way to say it. It's like it's music. You play this music by being in the world. You literally play a song. So what is it about your song that is, I don't know, it needs to be appreciated? Like when you look back at yourself, like I just said, when you step outside and look back at yourself, what is unique about the way you're moving through the world? Appreciate that about yourself. Like notice how special that is. I think that's going to come up for you this week. It's going to come up for you this week in terms of like what impresses me, how am I impressing, like just noticing the dynamic flow of how we interact with other people. And there's something about that causes you to draw your energy into a clearer focus, draw your perspective into a clearer focus, draw your desire into a clearer focus, concentrate it so it becomes more powerful, it becomes more impactful. You know, I mentioned this and I'll say it again. The chariot as the number 7 is always a little bit mysterious. It's one of those cards we can talk about and I can give you lots of information on. There's a lot of symbolism in the card itself, in the idea of the chariot itself, but there's an inherent mystery to it because it's a 7. It does kind of tie back to what I was just saying about the tower and those internal shifts, because there's something mysterious about that, something that needs to just take the time it takes with that. This is now the 4th major arcana card we've had in a row. It's leading us into the eclipse season. The first of the eclipses comes up, I think, this week. Who knows where that will take you in your individual life? Like, who knows what that is going to remake in your life? But there's something about this idea of noticing what impacts you, like noticing what matters to you, noticing what you're taking in from other people. You know, as I just said that, I thought, you know, I know I can hear a lot of people saying to me, well, I don't want other people's energy. I don't want to take on. And that's where the chariot, that pushback of your own energy. This is why it matters that we cultivate our own practice, that we cultivate our own energetic field. It goes back to what I said about protecting your own energy. If you really trust yourself, if you're in this place of strength and nourishment, which again ties back to the October energy, what do you need to do? How do you need to be shifting things in your life so that you can feel rested and strong? What does that look like? So maybe you are noticing this week of the ways people impress you in not good ways. How do people push their energy into you and it doesn't feel good? It doesn't feel inspiring. It doesn't feel life affirming. It doesn't feel motivating. It feels draining. That's great information. That's great information about who you're spending your time with, where you're putting your energy, and is this a place where I can be in my most resourced, healthy self? And if it's not, what changes would I want to make so that I could be? How would I want to shift either the way I'm showing up in that space? How would I shift what spaces I'm showing up with? Same thing goes for relationships, same thing goes for projects, same thing goes for workspaces, art spaces. Like, what is pulling my energy away? That's a type of impression. But again, if you're showing up fully resourced, then you're going to be in this position where you can look at it as a good thing. People's energy meeting you as these kind of like pings of, oh, that's interesting. Oh, I like that. I like the way they do that. I like the way they hold that. I like the way they move in that. That's inspiring. That feels good. That feels like something I might want more of. Notice where you are in that spectrum. When I say people's energy impresses you and you impress it on them, and you really kind of feel into the dance that we're all doing, it's this creative like song dance we're all playing with each other all the time, all the different notes, all the different colors, like, do you see me, do you feel me, like even in the grocery store, but especially in our closer relationships. So feeling all the ways people impact you, feeling how safe you feel in that, feeling whether those impacts feel like a drain or like an inspiration, noticing what you might want to do to change that, and then helping you by feeling into what you do want more of, helping you focus and concentrate your energy as we move into this eclipse season. The song you're singing to the universe, this is where I'm headed, this is what impresses me, this is what inspires me, this is what I desire, and that's enough. And then the universe meeting you in this cycle of the Wheel of Fortune, the cycle of the star, the cycle of eclipse season. It's really interesting. Kind of a funny message. I hope it makes sense. I hope I illustrated it in a clear way, because I have to say, like, when I stepped into that card, I just felt so impressed. It's just like I felt the energy of the chariot, and I was like, wow. It was that feeling of wow. What I feel in that is both the ways that the world might wow you this week, and the ways in which you might notice that you wow the world. Like, good on you, man. Good on you. May you appreciate yourself more. May you feel your preciousness more. May you feel more satisfied to be in your own skin. Like, dude, I make a difference. I make a difference just by being me. I bring beautiful music to the world just by being me. Aren't they lucky? Aren't the people lucky for feeling me? Aren't the people lucky to get to know me? Allow yourself to sit in that and feel that a little more deeply this week. And also allow yourself to appreciate other people. Aren't you lucky to know them too? Damn, man. So like, that feels really good. That's a beautiful message. And it's a very interesting one. It's not something that usually comes through with the chariot. But again, we're on this like fourth major arcana. We are going through these deep changes, and the universe is so supporting us. We are so supported right now. And I hope you feel that. I hope you feel that. Like 8 Ways to Sunday, I hope you feel how supported you are, how cherished you are, how appreciated you are by the universe, by the world, by the field, and by the people that are lucky enough to encounter you. There's something about you that is deeply impressive. And that's a beautiful thing. And that is, again, like another reason we're here is to feel each other, right? We're all God in drag, Ram Dass says. Okay, cool. What's your costume? How do you sparkle? You know, what kind of textures do you bring to the world? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being you. I feel you, and I'm grateful. And I love it. I love it. And I love you. You are impressive. I find you deeply impressive. Okay. Cool. There you go. That's your message. Play with that word, play with that feeling, that like lens on the world. It'll be interesting to see what that does to you. And maybe that will be it. Maybe there'll just be a moment this week where you go, wow, man. Wow. This is an interesting place. How cool we get to try this whole human experiment together and individually and cosmically and universally. Love you all. May you be blown away by your own impressive nature this week. Big hug. Bye. It's giving everything is sacred. It's giving art. It's giving light you up and turn you on and set you free. It's giving curiosity. It's giving freedom. It's giving love. It's giving you are more magical and powerful than you can comprehend. It's giving, I don't know what's happening, but I am so here for it. It's giving you are pure potential. It's giving mystical.